Folks, welcome back to the channel. As the description talks about, we've got a mid to late 1960s Tote Gote Model B. Just picked it up today off of Facebook Marketplace. And if you remember back in the day, you remember dreaming of being the people that could throw one of these on the back of their camper and their Chevy or Ford Dodge pickup truck, head up to the mountains of Utah, Colorado, Idaho, and go mountain goat hunting, or getting elk or big deer, those big muleys. Now, these were marketed for hunters, so they've got 2-speed, probably max speed on these things were probably about 5 miles an hour. However, these are still around. So considering what, 65-ish, 1965-ish, and we're in 2026. Come on, these things are still around. If you see this kind of stuff out there, you need to grab it as fast as you can, because if they are still around, no matter where they're at, they've got value. They got a value to either the person that has it or the person that wants to buy it, i.e. me. All right, so this is a base project. I'm not going to go back and full-on restore this. And the reason for that is, back to the history, the civilian versions of these were all painted fire engine red. They were basically as red as that floor jack right there. Or they were painted kind of a funky green color for the Forest Service. Almost like a lime green. And Forest Service Bureau of Land Management used to use these to go out and survey the forests and the parks and out in the timberlands of the west of the United States here. So with that being said, there is no color left on this. It's basically been touched up with some black spray paint. So I think what we're going to do, and just so you know, here's the serial number on this thing right there on the neck. It is N as in Nancy, M as in Mike, 1375. And that puts it about 1965 to 69, somewhere in that range. Bonham they were made by Bonham. And they didn't really keep records, but these things sold to real adventuresome out there in the wilderness kind of hunters. And even has shocks. Look at that on the front forks. So anyway, back to what our plans are for this. When I saw this picture of this thing, I thought, why not? Because the basic things are all there, right? You got your handlebars, you got your frame, you got good wheels, tires, and everything like that. And it's got the centrifugal clutch here, as well as it's 2-speed. Whoop, there's your shifter. There is the shifting mechanism right here. There's the clutch, if you will, and then high speed, low speed on the chain. So each one of those chains, and then through the shaft, there's your primary chain down there, and then you've got this kind of funky duck cloth webbing brake right here that just kind of, you pull it and it clamps like an old tractor, if you will. But anyway, back to the color. So there's no paint left on this. It's been touched up and got the serial number, so we know roughly what years it was made. I think what we're going to do is we're going to strip this down. We're going to paint it some good old-fashioned OD Army green. And then we'll leave the white wheels. And maybe we'll find a gas tank, a bigger gas tank, instead of the one that just sits on the engine. And we'll put a nice white Army star on it. Just kind of make it an Army motif. Hoo-ah. With the sale of just that, that's all I wanted. The guy threw in an engine. And it is a Honda. I know, the original is Briggs Stratton, about 3.5 horse. But threw in a vertical cylinder. I believe these came off like a pressure washer or something, but it's got the clutch. All right, woo! All right, and he showed me it's got compression. I can't do it because I've only got one hand free here instead of the camera and my gimbal, but got the old switch on and off, and we've got a throttle cable connector here, blue, clutch, all that. And he threw in this little pocket mini bike front end made by Zoom. And I went in and took this, well, 2 reasons. Number one, it's got some kind of cool stuff that I could use in the future. And I thought about maybe just mounting it up on the wall up there. Kind of like some decoration, cleaned it up a little bit. I don't know anything about it. It might be from an old, I don't know. It kind of looks cool though. And looks like it has a sticker on it. It said $10. Probably didn't sell it at a garage sale. Anyway, good guy. Let it go for a reasonable price. And shook hands, fellow vet, and gave him my YouTube channel handle so hopefully he can follow along and laugh and say, no, you're doing it wrong. And critique me as I go along. So I think this is going to turn out to be a good project, but we are going to go through and we'll strip it down. We'll clean everything up. I don't have any leftover paint. I don't have any leftover oil or fluids or anything like that from prior projects. So we're down to basic. But good news is, remember the compressor, that big 3-phase compressor over there. I sold that, and my $100 has been used to buy $50 for this, which included the front end thing and the engine. And so we'll have $50 in the bank from the sale of that compressor to use towards this project. And if you know, bolts and fasteners are expensive. So yeah, I'm starting to see some money in it. But, and then cables and stuff like that. And hey, check this out. Remember these? Remember the metal throttle grip? Pinch your hand whenever the rubber worn off, but it doesn't have the little thing there. But this will be really cool to keep. Just the part of the originality of this, and it's not bent anywhere. It looks like something's been cut off here. I don't know what this went to, and the way to tell, I know I'm jumping all around, but the way to tell this is a later 60s model is there's 2. This angle piece here, the original, the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, this was a T, but they did an angle piece to support more of this because the shaft here with all the torque and everything going down to the rear drive, with that T, that was bending and it was putting a lot of stress on this one little weld right here on this faceplate. So, and if you see a lot of pictures out there, just Google or Yahoo or however your search engine, right, Bing, type in Tote Gote, and you're going to see the majority of them have a triangle, basically right there, and not this nice wide front skid plate to put your feet on. This wider plate makes this a later version. The early ones, again, were just that. It's almost like a mud flap because, you don't have your mud flap here. It goes up underneath there. And hey, you know what? We got a mud flap right there. Whew. Anyway, we got a nice little project right here. And we're going to keep it going and see if we can't keep our budget within somewhere close to about $100 from that compressor. Get this thing going. I know that seat's going to be insane. That might eat our budget right there, and probably going through the engine on this one. Oh, man. But I don't know. Positively, absolutely going to make this a kind of OD green color army motif. And maybe we'll do it like a duck cloth seat, right? Just go find an old seat that'll fit it, and it get covered with some army duck cloth canvas or something like that oiled canvas, and go from there. Anyway, and we need the freaking kickstands and stuff like that. Oh, it just adds up. But where are you going to find a, with 60 some odd year old little hunting mounting bike for $50? History speaking in the making. the whole intent of this channel. So thanks so much for watching. Folks, we're going to jump back in. I'll talk about the Volvo later on. That's finished. I've had it 2 years, racing it around, smog, titled, insured, ready to go. Looking to get about $8,000 for that. The Cadillac SRX, no, I have not fixed the dent yet. And no, I haven't bought the little clip that goes here. And no, I didn't replace the entire headlight. But I'm looking to get probably about $12,500 for this. So I'll do separate videos on those. And then we'll work out if anybody wants to buy those, and I'll use the money for a future project. I know folks are hurting out there in the economy, but and these things are going to last. It's all-wheel drive, good Tahoe, getting up the hill in the snow. It's a SRX R4, yeah, automatic four-wheel drive car, front-wheel drive T6 over there, or excuse me, T5 with the 5-cylinder turbo Volvo X60. That is a race rocket, and 57,000 miles on that little car. So we'll talk more about that in a future video. I'll put those out for sale sometime in the next couple of months or so. And we'll get back into this project and start playing around with this with some more history. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye.